you be in bed? It's not like 4 in the morning for you. Do you sleep? Are you, have you bypassed human limits? You should be in bed. I've been working on the Switch all night, and I just finished setting up 60 FPS patches and stuff. Like, oh, I'll play this for a little bit before bed. I wasn't expecting anybody to actually watch. I should save before I do this, because, I think you only get to fight her once. Let's go do that really quick. I want to try to do a duo run of this, kind of like Tails, but with 2 characters instead of just 1. I think that would be fun. Nobody's gonna watch it, I'm fully aware of that, but I don't care. I'm just doing it for fun. I don't always like to be so focused on viewership. It's just what I enjoy doing at the time. I wanted to play this game again, but this game's frame rate cap does not like my computer. For whatever reason. Is my mic on? Sora. You know, this game has a 60 FPS code on Switch too, but the game's freaking $50, so it's gonna have to wait until a really dry month. I have $50 lying around. It's a little steep. It's probably why nobody is buying this game. I'm going to bed. Like, yeah, you can get the Yakuza games for on sale for like $5 every week. This is like 10 times the price. I think this game has better combat than any of the Yakuza games I've played, but the comparison is still warranted. You have a small city. It's not like this massive open world, but there's lots of stuff to do, and it's an Asian country. You know, it's like the comparisons are right there, but definitely think this game should have been like $30. $30 for this. I think more people would be willing to give it a try, but Yakuza games are on sale like way too often. Not gonna have too many people frothing at the mouth to buy this, which sucks. This is a really good game. It's very enjoyable. It's cool to see a game like this with better combat. I like Lost Judgment's combat for what it's worth. I think that game is pretty solid, but I got like 3 games about small contained worlds and Asian cities to play through, so I kinda want to finish this one, do all the New Game Plus stuff, and then probably check out the next one. Yeah, this game, Lost Judgment, and Neo: The World Ends With You all came out around the same time. The exact same theme. They all have, like, except for Lost Judgment, demons and shit going around. Like, that many people making the exact same thing at the same time. And the games all came out within a year. And the thing Lost Judgment has in common is just Asian city, small, contained area, but lots of content. Yo! Oh, man, the gun guys are stay annoying. I must say, this New Game Plus is actually another reason it's cool. Is it's not like Tales. It's not like Tales where they just give everything like 10 times the health. Like, it actually feels pretty well balanced. You can get demolished as fast as they can demolish you. Nothing like first fight in Abyss, unknown mode, where you're doing like 1 damage. You have to fight that boar for like 10 minutes because the stats are so massively inflated, and that's like the first time you get to go into a battle, so you don't have access to any of the customized mechanics. There's been nothing like that in this. Kill things pretty fast. It's just you still have to pay attention. It's not like a brain-dead New Game Plus. Does not feel like a victory run at all. It's like you still have to play the game. Tales New Game Plus can either be a victory run or mauled city, depending on how you set it up and which game it is too. Abyss on the hardest difficulty is like meme tier. It's gonna give the first enemy, like, full defense, so you can't kill it. Great design. These guys gotta go. Gun guys. Like that, but I messed up once and I lost like half my health. This game has a really good New Game Plus, I must say, coming from being a Tales veteran. Give you a lot of the things you don't get in Tales games. You get all your characters right away. As long as you like played the game decently, you get all your stuff too. Like,
oh yeah.
oh, I should save, huh? Yeah. This is the fight. Kind of annoying this game doesn't have Pokemon save everywhere. Hey, what's up, Radical? Long time no see. You've been busy. I've been pretty busy myself, but I've had more tasks to do for my neighbor, and I've been working on the hack switch and all these projects and stuff. Yeah. Well, it's good to hear from you. Well, I'm glad you're surviving. Yeah, this game is solid. It's a good game. I have some problems with it, but it's the only, like, Yakuza-type game I've actually finished. I have Lost Judgment and Neo The World Ends With You, but they're all, like, games about small, contained Asian cities, so I'm probably gonna get burnt out. Probably. I might not finish Lost Judgment or, Neo The World Ends With You this month. I might save them for November. So that's a lot of games about small, contained Asian cities with lots of content. I'm gonna get burnt out. Especially two of them involve fighting demons. The only one that doesn't have demons is, what's it called? Lost Judgment. Had two games about Asian cities fighting demons and shit. Like, I'm gonna get burnt out.
みんな警戒して逃がすものか飛ばすよへやっはっとどめよそこにえいはっは
You want to know something hilarious? I bought the first Judgment on Stadia, and now I get my money back for that. Because Stadia is dying. I'm gonna get like $70 back from them, all the shit I bought on there at some point. Yeah, you'd better. Your service sucks. You know, I'm open to trying new things. I try to not worship corporations like some people do. I'll play... I just want to play good games. I don't really care where they are. I prefer for them to be on Steam, of course, because the Epic Game Store sucks. Don't get me wrong, but I'm open to trying new things. But man, my experience with Stadia was just painful. Like, nothing worked on that thing. I like how I went all the way to the game center. They have like the fastest internet in town. They have a business fiber line, and it still lagged over there. Like, explain that to me. Not even being dismissive at that point. Like, oh, the service sucks. This is not gonna be fun. From what I've heard, there's been a lot of talk about this on Twitter lately, like, basically the developers were blindsided by this shit too, like, I mean, there was a game that they got paid to put on there. I don't remember what the game was called, but it was supposed to be coming out like this month, but then they just kind of gave up. Like, I like how people say it's a good gesture that they're giving you your money back. I'm like, no, they have to. Even Google would lose that lawsuit. They have to give you your money back. You bought something that literally doesn't exist anymore. Like it's a food item, you know? It's a digital good you bought. I mean, I have good internet, right? And I have access to a game center 10 minutes away with the fastest internet in the city that's publicly accessible, at least. You know, you pay to go in there, and you have fast internet, and you can download stuff at like 70 megabytes a second. Like, if it doesn't work over there, then how the hell is your service supposed to be commercially viable? It's not. Like, you know, we have shitty internet here in America, yes, but other parts of the world have it worse. It's like, if we can't even run it, then how is it supposed to be something that's viable? Other parts of the country with worse internet? America's weird with internet, really. We have fast internet, but the ISPs are all scumbags. And they put, like, data caps, and they jack up the prices and stuff. And all the good ones get bought out by the big guys. So you have, like, no options. That's the problem with the internet here. And our infrastructure is really outdated. So, it just wasn't cloud gaming's not the future. It's not. They did have a couple turn-based RPGs on there. I probably wouldn't have minded playing those on there. Those aren't really my kinds of games, but anything involving, like, actually needing a button press to come out on time, which is a surprising amount of video games, not just stuff like what I'm playing right now. It's just very niche, you know, action game. Shit, even a turn-based I get bothered when people say turn-based games don't need frame rate. There's one problem with that statement. The problem is, in a turn-based game, if you make one wrong decision, you could fuck up the whole battle, right? You have to be in a pretty bad situation for that to happen, yes, but that can happen. Like, if you're supposed to heal at a point in the Stadia eats your input, and you attack instead, well, your battle's over. If it starts dropping frames, like, or it has input lag, it could be harder to recover from, arguably, than something like this. Where it's like, you might take a hit, or it might eat an input, but it might not be the end of the world. A turn-based game, it can be. If you have everything planned out in a certain way. It's less of a problem, but it's interesting to think about. Hey, I got DD maxed out. Nice. Okay, so I have 18 more levels I can do. Yeah, I can max out Yumo as well. That'll be the next goal. Let's see if I can, I'm doing a challenge run right now. Yeah, it triggers me when people say that. It legit triggers me. Like, you know, that's false, right? It's false. Just because it's turn-based doesn't mean it's not susceptible to that problem. I think that's the thing that can ruin turn-based games the most. They're a lot easier to make than things like this, but if there's input lag and the menus feel bad, then that can ruin it. It definitely can. Or if the game has too many random encounters. A lot of the PS1 JRPGs have, like, way too many random encounters. Like, the point you can't even, like, get across one room without, like, 10 fights. Those are shitty turn-based RPGs, too. That's pretty much what ruined Chrono Trigger on PS1. Because that was like the first JRPG to have actual seamless battles, where there's no transition. You go straight to the... You fight straight where you are, but the load times kill it, so it didn't feel any better than just playing your average PS1 turn-based RPG, where you transition because the load times are about the same. That port's kind of a mixed bag. It has the extra anime cutscenes and stuff, but it kind of kills the whole point of the game to have that much loading. That was like the whole major gimmick of that, was there was no transitions.
皆様こんばんは。
若、潜入準備。
おかげさまで。ユニークな熊の店長、本日店長、こちらハッキング装置の設置。
場所は優先所。
ゆうもちゃん、話を。
You know, there was a really good meme I remember back when Chrono Trigger PS1 came out. I think it was a YTMND site that someone made, and it was just a picture of Chrono doing his wind pose with no music or sound or anything. So what it was referencing is actually playing that game on PS1, where he'd be stuck in the wind pose, there'd be no sound or music, and it would have to sit there and think about how to load back into the main game. I for some reason I just found that hilarious. It's like the most minimalist meme, but very similar to the experience playing that game. The whole pacing of the game is ruined. Yeah, these games are cool.
敵だ。面倒だな。はっ、ライト。甘い。僕の番だね。よっ、いや、飛ばすよ。はっ、そこだ。敵の数が増加。はっ、邪魔だ。戦闘準備完了。はっ、外さない。僕、了解。逃がすものか。さあ、よっ。飛ばすよ。逃がすものか。と、いや。戦闘準備完了。倒れなさい。どこを見てる。僕、了解。敵ね。慎重に行くわ。吹っ飛べ。行くよ。よっ。はっと。そりゃ。逃がすものか。飛ばすよ。私が行く。ランクイン。逃がさなきゃ。はっと。ここに。はっ。切って。行くよ。僕、了解。飛ばすよ。はっ、そこだ。はっ、よっと。 飛ばすよ。変わるな。そこにと逃がさなきゃ。頑張るぞ。これいやはっいただき。とどめおったからおったからどうせまだまだとどめ行くここ倒れなさい。やつまだまだとどめ逃がさなかってどうせまだまだとどめに甘いよ。はっ勝って了解。そこだ。いいものを手に入れたわ。よっ逃がすものか。はっとけいただき。いくよ。よっへやったら僕が相手だ。変わるわ。それはどこを見てる。あの小さい災いの像見るからに怪しいわ。前に北門の地下通路でも見なかった？言われてみれば
急に妙な感覚が。
僕もなんだか一瞬寒気がしてまた同じ場所に戻っちゃったわ。
ああ、周りの景色と小さい災いの
What do you mean, missing that I haven't been doing them, or missing them because
他の道を試すしかないわね。
what do you mean by
ああ
that?
もうイライラする。
It's because I haven't been doing them, or what? Well, I also haven't been doing them much either. I've been working on the custom firmware switch, getting it ready for Bayo 3. That's been like my main project. That's been eating up a lot of my time after I get back from taking care of my neighbor. I spent most of tonight doing that, actually. Setting up 60 FPS codes and stuff. 'Cause that's all I use the Switch for. The hack Switch for. I don't pirate the games. 'Cause, I mean, when I buy the thing legally, I get a PC copy anyway. I just dump it and play it on the emulator. So, I mean, I don't mind buying it, but I use it for different reasons than most people. I mean, obviously, most people just do it to get the games for free, which is, you know, people have their reasons for doing that, but I just want the games to run better, and I want to have permanent copies of the games when the Switch inevitably dies, because I don't trust Nintendo to care about preservation. That's really all I use it for. It looks to be better than 2, which is Admittedly, a pretty low
この
bar,
像を
but
目
it
印
seems
に
like
する
they
と
are
逆に方向を見失ってしまうな。
probably
ここは
watched
噴
Adrian's
出エネルギ
video
ーの
about
方向に
how
進む。
jacked up Bayonetta 2 is. They must have, because it seems like they've barely shown any gameplay of that. It's unedited, outside of like a trailer or something. So they clearly are listening, from what I've seen so far. Anyway, I hope I'm not wrong, but the second game is just a mess. That game is a hot mess. It's a beautiful mess, is what it is. It's playable, but you start trying to do cool stuff in that game, and you realize the game is just making it so you can't do that. You know, it doesn't make sense because it's a character action game. It's about doing cool shit. The game doesn't let you do that.
僕の番だね。飛ばすよ。ここだ。
They didn't know how to make that game more accessible without completely dumbing it down, which is
逃がすものか。飛ばすよ。
a problem a lot of other action games have.
私が行く。とど
So
め
you
ん。
can even argue first-person shooters. Kind of dumbed a lot of those games down with hero shooter craze.
了解よ。飛ばすよ。
Like, none of those games have movement on par with, like,
ここだ。
Quake or Unreal Tournament. They pale in
逃が
comparison.
すものか。飛ばすよ。
It's easier for people to get into, so that's what we're talking
飛ばす
about.
よ。敵の数が増加。
Bayonetta 2 really suffers from that problem, though. It's not knowing how to make it easier for people to get into without
そこだ。
completely dumbing it down to the point where it just has no
戦闘
depth.
準備完了。
You don't really have a lot of opportunity to grow as a player.
貸して。僕了解。へいや。受けてみろ。こらこらこら。戦闘準備完了。はっ。外さない。決まりまで新手だよ。はっ頑張るからよっとこいつだ逃がすものかよっ行くよ飛ばすよ私が行く逃がさないここよ行くライトやっ
I mean, I remember when Quake Champions got announced, and that trailer had like no gameplay, but they made it painfully obvious that it was another hero shooter. Quake boomers hated that. Like, even they didn't show any gameplay in that trailer at all, but they had a bunch of like clearly specially designed characters running around shooting each other, so it was already obvious that it was going to be the umpteenth hero shooter instead of, like, you know, normal Quake. I don't know how the movement works in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was dumbed down. Yeah, first-person shooters definitely suffer from that as well.
Yeah.
This game is solid. There's two major problems with this game. The first and most important one, because the other one that I'm going to mention implies that you actually bought the game and played it, which doesn't seem like many people have. The price of this is like about as expensive as Lost Judgment right now, and I think this game has better combat than any of the Yakuza games. The price of it is just ridiculous. This game shouldn't be any more than $30. I've gotten that amount of money out of it. I've gotten $50 out of this game, but you know, the Yakuza games are on sale like every freaking week, and you can get all of them for like the price of this, pretty much. Outside of the ones that just came out, which is the Judgment games. That is why nobody's talking about this game, because it's very similar. This game doesn't take place in Japan, but it's very similar to Yakuza. You're in an Asian city, which is, for some reason, still a exotic locale for video games instead of just trying to be some weird, some weird amalgamation of like Los Angeles and New York City, which is like what most games are. You're in an Asian city. It's small. It's compact. It's not a big open world, but there's lots of content. There's side quests. There's food to eat. You know, you have the option of continuing the story or just digging around and finishing stuff. It has all those things in common, but it's like way more expensive. So, even though this game is really solid, that's what's killing its opportunity to be popular for sure. They definitely put a lot of work into this. I mean, this is one of the best New Game Plus experiences I've ever had, personally. This is... the New Game Plus in this is better than Tales. Any Tales game, pretty much. But the price holds this game back, I'm not gonna lie. It's a hard sell. You can go get Yakuza 0 and like a Dragon and like the Kiwami games. The ones that more people would want to play, because the PS3 ones are kind of dated at this point. Like, you get those games for like dirt cheap, and they want like almost $60 for this. That really holds it back. The other problem is this mechanic. The counters suck. It's like never worth doing counters. The counters in this game are busted, but they're busted in a bad way, not a good way. The window on it is really wonky, and like when you push the button, it's not like when you push the button. There's only one character in this game that has a counter. That's when you actually push the button. It's this weird thing where when the character is flashing red, which can be at variable points in all of the characters' animations. This game has like 8 characters, by the way. So you have to learn that for each one. But this game also has witch time with no cooldown. So there's no point in ever using the counter. The counter is pointless. It's the only thing I don't like about this game's combat. I think this game is really cool, but has very unique combat. They didn't just copy Tales or Yakuza. They did their own thing. And it feels very, very good. The game is responsive, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. The characters are all completely unique as well. There's no clones or anything. But the counter is trash. It's just terribly balanced. There's never a good reason to do it. The counter is supposed to be like high risk, high reward, right? Like in the East games, if you fail the counter, then it counts as a crit. Or like in, it's not really a counter, but in a lot of Tales games, when you free run, it's a guaranteed crit on you if you take damage while you're free running. That's there so that you don't spam it. I get that they didn't want people to spam it, but it's just high risk and it's shit reward, because you can just get the witch time. And this game also has a really good system where more powerful moves, even if an enemy can't be staggered, they can't be juggled, it will stagger them. So you can actually get the whole animation off, which is something I wish a lot of other games had, because that's a problem with a lot of games with hyper armors. They want you to use, they have these like slow but powerful moves, but you're locked in an animation you can't cancel out, and you're fighting something that doesn't stagger. So those moves are like very rarely worth using. They fixed that in this game. The most powerful moves will always stagger a boss every time. There's no no random factor at all. The combat in this game is really good, but the counters are just trash. There's just like no reason to ever use them. They went too far in making it a high-risk thing. It's just the reward is bad. Especially when this game has counters, but it also has witch time too. So why would you counter when you can just use the witch time? The witch time is better in every way.
強行突破をやめな。何か方法があるはずだよ。
お小遣いが頑張るぞ。
They put out a patch for this when it came out on console. That's like the last time they did anything to this game. It's like the only thing they need to fix. The counter should feel satisfying to pull off. And there should be a reason to do it, but there's not. You want to get yourself killed to use it, I guess. You beat this game doing none of the advanced stuff I'm doing. But, like, learning the counter is probably legit harder than, like, probably scratching the surface on, like, a Devil May Cry game. Because the timing makes no sense. And it's different for literally every move. This main character here, this girl with the Super Saiyan anime hair, she has, like, 6 different counters. The timing is different on all of them. It's just, like, actually legit harder than a Devil May Cry game. It's pretty much you push the button when you're about to get attacked. That's the only thing you need to understand. Now, doing that in combat, of course, is not easy, but the barrier of entry is much smaller. Yeah, I feel bad for these devs because this game is really good, but they made the mistake about making a game about doing stuff in an Asian city that's very similar to Yakuza, but it costs like 10 times the price of those games on sale. Now, if it was like some stuff, there's some games that like go on sale like twice a year. You know, that wouldn't be as bad, but Sega puts those games on sale like literally every month. So they're pricing themselves out of relevance, I guess would be the word for it. The combat in this game is better than any Yakuza game, in my opinion, but I know the comparison is warranted. It's different from everybody calling anything remotely difficult a Souls-like. It's not like that kind of comparison. It's like, no, it's pretty much is just Yakuza. It's just in Taiwan instead of Japan, and it has you know, character action game combat instead of, you know, kind of a more basic brawler type combat. Those are like the main differences. People making it are different, of course, but this game's been out for a while. They haven't done like a single steep discount to this at all. It's been like $50 for months now. Out of the like 10 Yakuza games on Steam, the only ones you could get like multiple of for the same price as this is like Judgment and Lost Judgment, which like just came out last month. Probably be at least like early next year before those games are rock bottom price. It's like the Otherworld Legends port, where it's like it's a good game, but the PC version sucks because there's no cross saves or anything, and they were too scared to charge what that game is worth. Like that game is worth like at least $30. It should have had like all the content in it, all the content at the time of when the game was made, because the game is still getting updated. I'd say this game has a lot in common with that. It's just this game is brand new. Otherworld Legends is a port. They both have the same problem. Not understanding the market. I remember when you gifted me the Otherworld Legends port, I'm like, wait, what the hell? Like, why doesn't it have all the DLC? And like, people are downvoting, like, that game does not deserve, that game is awesome. I like that game better than Dead Cells. They have like way more time in Otherworld than Dead Cells. The balancing. This game is actually skill-based, it's not just about grinding, forced grinding, and, you know, knowing what items to pick. There was a lot of skill involved. It's a shit deal. I don't know how else to say it other than that. It's a trash deal. I did my part. I streamed most of my playthrough this, and I did a really good overview, and I'm even playing the game again. So I've done my part. I feel like they need to discount this game soon. The game doesn't deserve to fail. It's just set yourself up for failure when games with almost the exact same theme. It's like kind of a household name in the niche gaming circle. It's like way cheaper to buy. You know, Yakuza 0 is like a 70-hour game, right? You can get that game for like $5 right now. How is this supposed to compete? Combat in this game is way better than Yakuza, of course, but the volume of the game for the price is just incomparable.
DD のこと？彼女どうしてテイフォンを狙ってるのかな？ さらせ。へや。レイバーさん、どうしてみんな暴力で物事を解決しようとするの？
あんた戦いの最中に何を言ってるんだい？殺し合う相手に失礼だ。
最近出会うおかしな人ってみんな人の話を聞かないわね。
少しだけ乱暴だが無人だな。ならこちらも無人として相手をしよう。
ちょっと私は無人じゃないわよ。2、3、当たれ。はっ、コロコロコロ。逃がすものか。
集中するんだ。この筋一筋縄ではいかない。
はっ、うん、分かった。逃がさない。
失礼にも程があるね。すぐに楽にしてやるよ。
了解。さら飛ばすよ。
Don't you love when you completely destroy a boss, and then a scripted cutscene happens and your character's like struggling, like they're on the brink of
ここま
death?
でのようですね。
She's getting bodied. That was a no damage, no damage run right there. Nope, the story dictated that I was about to get bodied. I hate when games do that. It's always nice when a game does that, and it like actually will change the story at least slightly. Not just the story dictated that you're a jobber, so tough shit. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop there because I want to record that fight. Like, no, she was getting comboed pretty hard. That armor bar was getting demolished. This game is really solid. I'm having fun with this challenge run. It's been enjoyable. I'm not even really using the broken stuff either. Let's play something else. Give that a rest for tonight. You get some of the characters in like one costume, yeah. That game deserves, Otherworld Legends deserves to be like one of the best action roguelikes, but they just don't understand how the PC market works. People will shun any kind of service game that's on Steam pretty much. Unless it's from like an established company, but like a small company like that, it doesn't have a lot of goodwill. They have to build that up, and they kind of burnt through that goodwill by trying to make it look like it's cheap when it's not. It also doesn't help that it has the same problem that Dynasty Warriors 9 has. Like, the page for that game is a fucking train wreck. It says it has like $400 of DLC. It doesn't. It really only has like 50 to 60, which is still a lot of money. I mean, that's pretty much the price of the game. You know, it's still a lot of money, but it's not $400. It's just there's all those costumes and the officer tickets and stuff in there, which just make it look like you get like barely anything when you buy the base game. Otherworld Legends has that problem too. That's why I put in my review, like, most of the stuff in there is just skins. Like, the skins are not... They're not like Dungeon Fighter avatars where they give you stats and stuff. They're purely cosmetic. They're not pay to win at all. But when people look at a game like that from an unknown company and they see like $150 of DLC, well, you can't blame people for being turned off by that. That's no one's fault but the people that made the game not understanding what they're doing. Speaking of which, that game's getting an update this month. Looks like they're reworking some characters. There's going to be new items and stuff, so I gotta incorporate that into my kitty sitting streams soon. I gotta de-rust on that game, because that game only gets updated like 3 times a year, I think. 3 or 4 times a year. So I'm guessing this is going to be the last one for this year. but I kind of got burnt out when I unlocked everything. I think I'm gonna stop there. Actually, I think I'm done for tonight. Uh, Probably play some Kamen Rider later. I did set that game up on the emulator. The problem is it stutters a lot, and I actually reason why I stream so late tonight is I've been working on getting the 60 FPS patch working on the Switch because I thought that maybe that would be more stable than running it on the emulator. It turns out that the game's coding is just, I don't know, spaghetti code or something. Like when there's a lot of enemies on the screen, the game stutters like crazy. The Switch could probably run that game at 60 FPS without mods, but I think they probably looked in testing and they're like, well, the game stutters like crazy. It's still the best way to play the game on the emulator because it's not capped at 30 FPS, but I haven't been able to find a way to get around that problem. It might not even be the emulator. It might just be the game, which sucks. But I've been enjoying playing it again. It might be another one of my projects. I might do some solo runs on that, even though that game is kind of more of a drag to play than Dusk Diver. The combat is pretty good. I really like the form change mechanic, and that is really awesome. I think that game deserves to get some high level gameplay. I didn't feel like playing it again at 30 FPS. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I had a pretty busy day today. I've been working on the Switch and stuff, so hopefully, I already bought Bayonetta 3. I got the Japanese version pre-ordered, so I should have it a day early. I guess we'll find out if it runs in the emulator. I'm going to assume it will, but some games don't run until they patch it, and the people that run the emulator team for that, they usually get it fixed as soon as they can. But if you go in their Discord and ask for it, they just assume that you're pirating a game. Like, dude, probably some of these people pirated it, but most of them just don't want to play on the Switch. They still bought the game legally. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the Switch sucks. It's not really capable of running a lot of the games that they put on it, which is ironic because the Vita was like that too. The Vita had a lot of monkey's paw games. You know, it's like it's really cool to have this game portable, but it runs at like 15 FPS. So it's like calling that playable is a stretch. Borderlands 2 is a good example of that. It was a pretty big deal, and Borderlands 2 is a very popular, highly regarded game, even to this day. And people consider that to be like the best Borderlands. You could play that on the Vita, but it was like 10 to 15 FPS most of the time. Switch kind of has that problem too. It's just putting stuff on it that it clearly can't run. So a lot of people are looking to dump the games and play it on there. That's how I would prefer to play Bayonetta 3, but I don't know if that's gonna play out. I have the means of buying the game and emulating it. I think my computer can probably handle it, but it's going to depend on whether the game will even run or not. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. I will see you guys maybe after I have some lunch or in the morning, depending on how early I wake up. Probably play some Dusk Diver 2 and Kamen Rider, because those are the games I'm working on right now. I did get Neo The World Ends With You, but like I said, I don't want Yakuza clone fatigue. So I have one actual Yakuza game to play. I've only put like 5 hours into it. Then I got Neo The World Ends With You, and then Dusk Diver 2 New Game Plus. So I'll probably do Neo The World Ends With You next, and then Lost Judgment last. Good night, folks.